Hello, I'm Kevin Smith, and my job coach, Joe Bell, is going to be making sure I get everything that I want to present to you today, so I don't get off track. Now I'll do the mission statement. To promote self-advocacy by speaking and acting on behalf of the rights and responsibility of all people with developmental disabilities.
What type of people does People First need?
People first need you if you've ever spoke up for yourself, and we need anybody that wants to make a change in their life. Changing your life is quite, everyone wants change. But to have change, you've got to be willing to work for it. People first don't believe that people should get things handed to them. And People First will teach you the skills that you will have to develop the skills so you can go out and get what you need.
What does advocacy mean?
Advocacy means speaking for yourself, and advocacy is just another way of saying that you want something and want something, and you're willing to applicate and get what you need. How many of you wanted a pet when you were growing up? And if you were like me, you promised to take care of it, rain or shine. You would take the animal and do your best by it. You didn't realize that it was a lot of work. But out of that, I'm saying advocacy is like having a pet, having a responsibility to make sure your responsibilities to a pet is kept up, so pet will have a good, healthy life. And that's the same way with self-advocacy. You've got to keep up your self-advocacy skills and go to meetings and everything to learn your skills.
What is it trying to bring about?
Change. We changed the R word out of state code by us banding together and going to the legislature.
So-
7 steps to self-advocacy. Joe, read them and I'll hit on.
Okay, I'll read through them. Step number 1, what do you need and want? Step number 2, plan ahead. Think about what you want to say. Step number 3, do you need someone else to help you advocate? Step number 4, always go to meetings about your services. Step number 5, get ready to negotiate. Step number 6, how do I tell if it's working? Step number 7, know how to make a complaint or appeal if you're not happy. So step number 1, what do you want?
You gotta know what you want before you go and go into anywhere. Give you a good example of something that I wanted. I wanted my own vehicle. I was going out and buy a vehicle. So a block from my apartment, this guy was selling a vehicle. So I went down and hit the tires with my crutches, and it didn't fall down on the ground. I thought I had a good vehicle. Took it down to Karen's, because I didn't have license and title and everything in my name, and I couldn't have it on the apartment property till I got insurance and everything. So I took it down to Karen's and put it in the garage and went down the next day. Started it up, it wouldn't start. I had to shell out some more money, get a starter put in it. Every time we went out of town, when I brought it back in, I dropped it off at my mechanic. And the joke was, between me and the mechanic, are you putting my granddaughter through college with this car? I said, I must be. But I will say one thing. I learned one lesson out of it. I can do, if I want something bad enough and willing to sacrifice for it, it can be done.
So why did you want your van?
To do my job. Change people's lives and perceptions of people with IDD. Because we'll take labels off. Labels don't belong on people, they belong on jars.
So you said you don't have your license, so how were you able to get your van driven?
I've got people like you that will get behind the steering wheel that does have license.
So did you ever have to have another van with all the problems you had your first van?
Yeah, I went because I've got a job, rehab, or West Virginia Rehabilitation bought me a van. And when I heard that they were buying vans if you had a job, I thought, No one would buy a brand new vehicle and give it to you. I said, this is unreal. But I investigated into the process, opened the case with rehab, and they did buy me a van. How long did it take me get this van? About a year. And Joe, approximately how many miles have I put on this van?
About 68,000.
About 68,000. And most of it is for work. And when we drove it off the lot, it only had 17 miles on it.
So what are some places you drove it? Like on trips and conferences?
DC, all around West Virginia. My email is kevin.smith@peoplefirstwv.org. If you've got any questions, office phone number is 304-422-3151.
And if we can't reach you on your office number, is there another number to call?
Yeah, give them the toll free.
1-877-334-6581.